Peace, BIL family. I'm your host, Shabari Lamb, and this is another edition of the BIL News. And in this video, I want to be talking about a situation that hasn't been getting, a lot of mainstream press. A lot of people don't know about this. When you type it in on YouTube, you don't get hardly any major black YouTubers or any black celebrity or even any, independent media outlets, there are only maybe a handful, but most of it comes from a YouTube channel that I subscribe to because I had been studying abroad in Johannesburg, South Africa. So I wanted to get, you know, in depth with South African news. And so I subscribed to the SABC, which is the South African Broadcasting Company. That's really where I got this information from. Otherwise, I would not have known about this situation. And it's dealing with the police shooting of Lindani Mieni. That's his name, Lindani Mieni. He was a black South African. He was from South Africa. He was well to do. He was a former rugby player. He was from the Zulu tribe. And he decided to come to America. And he and his wife settled down in Honolulu because that's where they thought, they could raise their children, where it would be sort of safe away from racism. However, we know as black people born and raised in America that systemic racism is everywhere in America, is also in other regions throughout the world, anti-blackness. So in even in Hawaii, where black people make up 3% of the population, they account for over 7% of the police shooting. So we already see that black people account for double their population in police shootings in Hawaii. And there's also been, black people are not from Hawaii, and homelessness, all these issues are examples of systemic racism that black people face in Hawaii. So Lindani Mieni, the situation happened after dark, and police say that Lindani Mieni entered into a house that he was not supposed to be in. An Asian woman mistook him for a burglar, and so the police arrive. They shoot 3 shots at him and kill him, but they took the 3 shots before they said police. So Lindani Mieni ends up being killed, and the police chief, her name is Susan Ballard. She said that the police were responding to the situation, not to his race, and that he was allegedly attacking the police as well. But Lindsay, the wife, recounts a completely different narrative, and she, like me, also senses this is a racially motivated crime because we've seen countlessly white people and people who are non-black be able to get away with stuff like robbing, wielding machetes. We've seen that, and the police are able to get them, you know, completely unscathed, uninjured. They can go do a mass shooting, and yet they still end up alive, unharmed, and taken into custody. So the wife recounts that Lindani may have mistaken this from a Hare Krishna temple. Lindani was a very religious man. He was a Christian. He was very spiritual. His wife and them had been sightseeing, and Lindani was stressed out. They prayed because he felt like things weren't right. He was stressed out, and so he wanted to cool himself off. And so he was also wearing his unkale headband, which means he wasn't coming with any bad intent. So that's what the wife was saying about the situation, and she too is filing, a racial discrimination case against the Honolulu police. And this is such an unfortunate situation because, it illustrates the point once again that it doesn't matter when like you're an African American, you're Afro Caribbean, you're an African immigrant from the continent, you still are gonna face racism in America. You're gonna face police brutality. We saw with Botham Jean, who's from St. Lucia, get killed by Amber Geiger. It's also unfortunate the fact that he has not gotten any major press. South Africans in South Africa media has been doing a good job on getting the information out here, but globally, he's not known compared to Dante Wright or um, the all the other situations that have happened with police, with George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery or Alton Sterling. Lindani Mieni just hasn't been getting that news coverage. And I think as Black Americans, we should stand in solidarity because let's not forget that it was the South African EFF that was protesting at the U.S. Embassy. They were protesting, they were saying Black Lives Matter, justice for George Floyd. And I think we need to show up. And as a member of the BIO, I will keep supporting our South African brothers and demanding justice and taking action. The government has been taking action there as well. The ANC, when Lindani Miani's coffin arrived weeks ago. Just this happened weeks ago. This is not like something that just happened yesterday or today. This has been going on weeks and it hasn't been covered. But they came with a Black Lives Matter poster when he arrived. I watched parts of the funeral and it was very sad. It was very unfortunate, and I'm saddened that not many people were aware of this situation. I wish more people on Twitter, more people were talking about this, and it wasn't just a few people or SABC, doing this news coverage. But the South African consul wants answers. The judge ordered the release of the full body cam. Durko is still waiting for the police report in that situation. And Times Live has asked, where's the global outrage? AP News did a good piece saying there's been no mass protest about the Lindani Mieni situation. And I want to bring it to the BL members about this situation, about, showing that no matter where you are across the globe, when you come here, you're going to deal with that systemic racism. So the government of KwaZulu Natal also is looking for answers for this as well. So the South African government, the consulates, they're talking about the situation. So yeah, I just want to give you guys an update on the Lindani Mieni situation. It also must be noted that the wife said that she wants South African citizenship. She's trying to get South African citizenship because she said that she does not feel that it's safe for Black children to be raised in America. And this is one of the things that we in the BIL constantly talk about is how America is not a safe place for Black people. We don't feel safe here in America. And that if we're not feeling safe here in America, we feel like we're constantly under attack, we're constantly under stress and duress. That's why we say we need to have somewhere of our own land infrastructure nation of the BIL. And she is just reaffirming this. And you see in the photos that she's a white woman and she even understands this point about this is not safe for us. And I just want to bring this message out here to understand what we are up against. It doesn't matter if you're African American, you're Jamaican, you're Trinidadian, Dominican, you're from Montserrat. We deal with this issue in America. So once again, this is Jabari Lamb of the BIA News. I hope this was really informative. You can look up his name and you can see a little bit more information if you want to do more research on this. All right, fam. Peace.
My colleague Jade Lee Polzer is live for us. Jade, what are you witnessing?
Very, very somber moment here at Esikalweni, Blaine, and viewers. What you're seeing right now on your screens is the family of Lindani Mieni walking behind his coffin, and his last resting place will be at the Impangeni Cemetery. Family members, both local South Africans as well as those abroad, mostly from United States, will be in that procession. As you can see on your screens, Lindani's wife, Lindsay Mieni, alongside his gogo, Beatrice and Nhleko, taking him to his final resting place. It's been a very difficult week. His body was brought back last week Saturday, and now the former rugby player and South African is brought home and will be laid to rest in his home province, KwaZulu-Natal.